I. The symptoms. A. The witchcraft. 1. The separation of the couple. 2. For work, studies, health. 3. Apathy. 4. The false love. 5. Madness and death. 6. Subjection. 7. Disobedient children, other effects. 8. House, shop or car. 9. Dreams. 10. Symptoms of spells. 11. Numerous spells. 12. Series of spells. 13. Reaction to the reading. 14. Some confusions. B. The evil eye. C. The jinns. 1. Spells. 2. Revenge. 3. Love. 4. Accommodation. 5. Jinns in house. 2. The healer. 1. The minimum. 2. The risk. 3. The non-risk. 4. The commitment. 5. The fees. 6. The organization of the work. 3. The treatment. A. The rudiments. 1. Qur'ān, prophetic medicine and experience. 2. The participation of the patient. 3. The patient and the jinn. 4. The general method. Particular witchcraft. 1. The eaten spell. 2. The laid spell. 3. The trampled spell. 4. The symbolic spell. 5. Series of spell. 6. House, shop, vehicle or other items. 7. Difficult and impossible cases. 8. Intensive treatment. 9. Other techniques. See the jinn. 1. General method. 2. The witchcraft. 3. Integrated to nervous system. 4. Psychological problem. 5. Resistant jinns. 6. Weak point. 7. Results to treatment. 8. Recapitulation. D. The prevention. 1. Precautions. 2. Invocations. 4. Discuss with jinns. And with jinns. 3. A method to know. 4. Appendix I. Fantastic experience. 5. Appendix 2. Jinn's world. The conclusion. About the author. www.benhalimaabdurauf.fr. Ben Halima Abdurauf was born in 1967 in Tunisia. From a Tunisian father and an American mother, he grew up in both cultures until he converted at the age of 15. Since then, he got involved in learning and preaching Islam. He came to France in 1986 to pursue his studies and stayed there for 20 years. Olympic champion in mathematics, engineer in statistics and economics, and memorized Qur'an, he is dedicated to Islamic works since 1995. Writer, translator and editor, he practices Ruqyah since 1997. Since 2007, he spends most of the year in Ruqyah training campaigns in Africa. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Unfortunately, we are crossing an age where these three issues, jinn, sorcery and evil eye, are getting tremendous proportions. Sorcerers and charlatans are so numerous, whereas healers following Allah's way are very rare. It is therefore our duty to alert populations against these flails, to endow them with means to protect and heal themselves as much as possible, and to train healers on Islamic practices. This is the first translation of this book, but the book is in its third edition. We thank Allah to offer English speakers this accumulated knowledge and advanced techniques, asking Him to help Muslim brothers and sisters see truth and false in this matter, protect themselves and practice Islamic healing. I hope practitioners will also join, to exchange experiences and set up common strategies to inform populations and train their peers. We will start inshallah by a detailed symptoms description in order to help the reader set up his own diagnosis and to be aware as soon as the first manifestations appear. I will on the way give a precise explanation of these three phenomenon, jinn, sorcery and evil eye. Then comes the description of the matching remedies. This will not be possible for all people to apply. Some remedies are very simple and it is important that many people learn to practice them. Others require specific conditions, and some will be limited to professionals. Nevertheless, it is important that a high number get involved because needs are tremendous. Important information has been scattered throughout this book, so those who want to take action should read it several times in order to assimilate all details. General notions. I don't want to spend time explaining that sorcery is forbidden. It is a disbelieving act, and both practitioner and anyone else who seeks sorcery are non-believers. Even though a sorcerer is worse than his client, and their prayers, devotion, act and profession of faith are void until sincere repentance. Such person cannot be married or buried with Muslims. Islamic law condemns sorcerers. Some people also revert to sorcerers by ignorance, or because they find no solution to their worries. The rule is, ignoring duty sins is no excuse, but this book aims to help them have a better understanding of things and train more practitioners in line with the religious standards. Does sorcery have a real effect? Of course it does. It is only by the permission of Allah, but Allah allowed it to be so. Just consider the verse. They learned from them the means to sow discord between man and wife. But they could not thus harm anyone except by Allah's permission. The Cow, 2 of 102. Thus, sorcery has an evil effect and Allah allowed it but to give a try to people. People with little faith will sell their soul to the devil but for this worldly temptation, while believers will double strengthen their faith and effort to beseech Allah's relieving and protecting them. Besides, if a person is under a sorcerer or a jinn's control, the very profit to withdraw is the increase of his faith and his closeness to Allah. Are we protected if we have a good practice of Islam? Some believe that their worship and prayers protect them, and they refuse to be handled. But if we do not know if our worship will protect us from hell, how can we be sure to be protected from sorcery? Let's not forget that they did magic to our Prophet, peace and blessing upon him, but it was caught and cured with instructions via the angels. But the closer to Allah the stronger personality we have, the less affected and the faster healed we will be. In addition, for good believers, Allah gives this trial a good end and they get great benefit from it. For others, they take it the way they do for hazards in life. Are we in a religious or medical field? This practice, the Ruqyah, is on horseback between religion and medicine. It is based on the use of the Qur'an and the prophetic medicine but allows experiences, new techniques, findings and evolution without leaving the Islam framework. On this purpose I refer to this hadith reported by Muslim. The Sahaba asked the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, "We used to practice Ruqyah before Islam. Shall we continue?" He said, "Show me your methods. There is no harm in performing Ruqyah as long as there is no shirk, associating partners to Allah. So, do not be surprised to come across innovating items. It is intended to research efficiency and simplicity, taking care to stay in compliance with Islamic ways." The symptoms. A. Sorcery. Breaking up the couple. This is the most frequent issue, the one given by Allah as an example to how much evil can come from sorcery. They learned from them the means to sow discord between man and wife. The Cow, 2/102. Two symptoms are specifically representative of it. The woman can no longer bear sexual intercourse nor find sexual pleasure. The couple argues for no reason, loving each other when far from one another and arguing as soon as they get back together. These symptoms would suddenly occur after a period of normal common life, or even before the beginning of common life. Common clashes are different from the ones due to sorcery as they are based on real and understandable reasons that can be handled through reasoning and dialogue. The two symptoms previously mentioned are very characteristic to sorcery. Sorcery does not exclude real problems within the couple, but it will make it impossible to properly resolve them. Eventually, if nothing is done to stop it, disputes can worsen and end up in destroying love within the couple, reaching a point of no return, especially if the families get involved. It is therefore important to diagnose sorcery as early as possible to control its drawbacks. In addition, sorcery may be used to prevent the wife having children or the man having sexual intercourse. This may happen in various ways. The wife has no periods or does not catch pregnancy at all, or she is victim of miscarriages after few days or months pregnancy, or has the baby die before birth. The husband will have no erection or will lose it when approaching his wife or even during sexual relationship, which is the worse. The patient in need of a cure must frankly vow out the issue so it can be fully understood. Preventing work. The person meets all requirements to get a job, but with no valid reason, each of his tries fail. The job may be promised due or guaranteed, but something will happen so it does not work, or the person will face a lack of energy or ambition. 3. Preventing schools and studies. This can happen in various ways. The student cannot think but only learn by heart. He will forget everything. He will get headaches whenever he tries to study. Problems occur during exam times. He thinks he will succeed but his results are just below the required average, etc. 4. Health problems. Sorcery may cause severe health disruptions. We have mentioned women's sterility and men's sexual impotence. It can also cause cancer, hemophilia, diabetes, kidneys or ovaries failure, water in lungs, hair loss and eczema. Psoriasis, to my knowledge, is only due to sorcery. Doctors do not understand its mechanisms and have no appropriate treatment for it. The medical responses are: nothing irregular in the body, everything is alright. But the person keeps suffering. There is a problem, but we have never come across such one. It's stress. And they prescribe antidepressant drugs that arouse another problem without solving the former one. You have such or such illness, but we don't understand how it came up. In all cases, there is no treatment, or the treatment is not effective. 5. Lack of interest and energy. The person loses all motivation and starts no action. He will constantly postpone things, sleeping all the time, start taking action but soon giving them up. 6. Fake love. The person, man or woman, is not in love with the other person but is obsessed about her, constantly thinks of her, sees the person everywhere and might think he is truly in love, whereas there is logically no affinity or reasons to be attracted by this person. We often see an interest for the second person to get married with the first one, be it sentimental or material, or for the interest of a third person. 7. Madness and death. The person will lose his grip, doubt about everything and everyone, speak alone, think he is someone else, see things, make connections between all kinds of things, etc. Regarding death, the person will be tempted to suicide and feel something pushing him to the window, or will want to cut his veins with a knife, or take lethal drugs, or throw himself under a running car, etc. He may also experience very dangerous accidents and close escape. 8. Subjection. The person will obey the sorcerer or the person who requested the sorcery with no question. He will not resist or express a disagreement to him. He may regret his submission and decide to resist, but in few cases he will be defending the sorcerer when this one is away when told not to trust him. This kind of sorcery is used in many cases to financially exploit someone, a wife who wants to dominate her husband, or vice versa, a mother who wants to lead her children to happiness, when a sorcerer wants to use someone to settle his sorcery, combined with the above-mentioned love sorcery. 9. Disobeying children. Sorcery affecting children mostly has an influence on their behavior and studies. The child will repeatedly get into mischief and will not stop with any punishment. He himself does not understand what is happening to him and feels thrown into mischief and unable of any good behavior. 10. Other effects. Imprisonment. The person will barely exit his house or country or not at all. Losing money, or if he earns money, he will not earn any more until he has spent all the money. Irritation.